Welcome to the very first episode of Climbing Out. I'm your host, Ericka Alston Buck. Hey there. Welcome to the first episode of Climbing Out. I'm your host, Ericka Alston Buck. Climbing Out, the self-care podcast, is a 30-minute powerful conversation dedicated to making certain that you are living the life you deserve. Not the life you want, not the life you wish for, not the life you hope for, but the life you absolutely deserve, because here at Climbing Out, we make certain that worthy, valuable, and enough are action words. Gone are the days that we keep dimming our light for other people to shine. I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to have you here with me. It is our first episode because we just ended our 28-day self-care challenge. And after 28 days of empowering ourselves, after putting ourselves first, here is the podcast dedicated to weekly 30-minute powerful conversations to give you the life that you deserve. Although we're launching today, you can catch us regularly Sundays at 8:30 p.m. to jumpstart and kickstart a powerful week. Tonight, we talk about turning your pain into power. Power is on the top of my mind because it's very important for me to be in a place to help other women, other people, tap into the things that have happened to us, through us, around us, and to draw strength and power from those situations. Gone are the days of regrets. Climbing Out will assist you in making certain that you understand that everything that you've been through, everything that you've gone through, everything that you've experienced has given you the absolute opportunity to be the person that you are today. And in climbing out and making certain that we're dedicated to self-care, it's very important that we own our story. So turning your pain into power. And what quantifies or qualifies me to host the show dedicated to self-care and climbing out? If you were not a part of my 28-day self-care challenge, you may not understand that climbing out does not absolutely have to be a dark place. It just has to be a place that you're sick of being in. So lots of us, hundreds of us, joined in every night at 8:30 p.m. every night in the month of February, a month dedicated to self-love and self-care. In February, where it's Valentine's Day, and it's about giving other people chocolate and flowers and accolades. I chose the month of February because there are a lot of us that are single. There are a lot of us that continue to put other people before ourselves. There are a lot of us that are absolute caretakers and put ourselves on the back burner. So through the month of February, we did a 15-minute challenge each night at 8:30 p.m. And it was a self-care tip, a self-care task, something that allowed us to invest in ourselves. And on the 28th day, on yesterday, we all met collectively on Zoom to share our experiences and how did we get here? What was the most jarring thing that happened over the 28 days? And what was the thing that you said each day that you will not do? Because we understood that when we talked about the thing that we will not do, it was creating safe boundaries for ourselves. If you are someone who typically puts others before you, you're a mom and you've got kids. You're taking care of your ailing parents. You have a leadership role at your job. Anything that has allowed you to put yourself second or on the back burner to other things were the places that we were climbing out from. So tonight we're going to talk about turning your pain into power. And my qualifying experience in this is where I've come from. Over this conversation tonight, we're going to talk about telling your own story. When we have the power to tell our own story, people can't use our past and decisions that we've made before against us. So the power comes in being able to own and tell your own story. Two, we're going to talk about going through it. When we avoid situations, when we avoid feeling the feelings that we need to feel, we can do a load of things to escape our feelings. We can shop it away. We can eat it away. We can have sex it away. We can drink it away. But it never truly goes away until we go through it. So turning your pain into power. One, we're going to own our story and tell our own story. Two, we're going to go through it. Three, healing. It's impossible to turn your pain into power if you don't heal from the thing that caused you the pain. And understanding that therapy is a thing. Sometimes when we are in pain or in a dark place or trying to move from one place to another, it requires outside help. And in our culture, it's such a stigma associated with uh, mental health and seeking therapy. We come from a culture that says what happens in this house stays in this house. Gone are the days that we're going to walk around bound up, not sleeping at night, crying ourselves to sleep, listening to the voices that come from the pillow when we lay our heads at night, and that says that you are not enough, you aren't smart enough, you can't do that. So going away, doing away with negative self-talk, and going through what it is that we need to go through. And finally, the only way that we can turn our pain into power is by helping someone else. So here we are. My opportunity to continue to turn my pain into power is climbing out this self-care podcast. And so I'd like to start with many of you who follow me or have the opportunity to see or hear my TED Talk know that I'm a person in long-term recovery. I am the person that was on the corner on Pennsylvania and Clifton Avenue in front of the liquor store asking you for loose change. It may not look like that right now. And it's so important for me to share where I've come from, because people who don't know me or don't know my past or base what they think about me on social media and filters and shiny bags and five-star dinners need to understand that it's been a journey to get here. So turning my pain into power has been my life experience. Understanding that the only way that I can truly turn my own personal pain into power is by helping someone else. And that is why I'm here tonight. And that's why I'll be here every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. So I had the opportunity through a suicide attempt, right? Over our self-care challenge, we learned that you should probably live a life with no regrets. If I regretted any of my experiences, I would not be living the absolute life of my dreams right now. I would not be in a position to live the life that I absolutely deserve, because I would have missed those pivotal moments in my life that changed the trajectory of who I thought I would be. So I got here through a suicide attempt. And on and sometime in May of 1996, I decided that I wanted out of the life that I was living. And the life that I was living was getting and using and finding ways and means to use more drugs. I am a person sitting before you that was addicted to crack cocaine. And as a result of being addicted to crack cocaine, I was homeless, hopeless, broken. I was the mother of two children. I'd lost custody of my children. They were living with my parents. And when I share homeless, hopeless, and broken, those are the three things that best describe the emptiness that I was feeling when I was standing outside on the street corners of Baltimore when the street lights would go off. You know, when I was cutting through alleys in Sandtown and there was nobody outside but me and that damn pack of dogs. If you've never been homeless on the streets of Baltimore, you don't know what I'm talking about. But there were so many opportunities when it was just me and those two or three damn dogs cutting through the same alley. That is where I've come from. So to have an opportunity to share with you from pain to power is absolutely as a direct result of not living a life of regrets, but understanding that God had a mission for me from the moment I was born, from before I was born. And when I was hoping, wishing, and dreaming of a great life as a child growing up in Baltimore, the single mom who did the absolute best that she could with what she had. And I don't share that lightly. My mom had enough good sense to take her Section 8 voucher and raise us in Bolton Hill, right? So that we could go to good schools and live in a diverse community. And I didn't grow up in an environment where there was AAO or drug dealing outside. Like we ran the streets, we drank from the water hose, we played up at the Reservoir Hill Library, and we played down, and I said library, that's in Baltimore, library. We played down in the ditch below the Reservoir Hill Library. We rode our bikes. We made go-karts out of broken shopping carts and 2x4s and broken roller skates. And I had the best possible childhood I could, and was exposed to arts and culture. I went to Mount Royal, and I went to Mount Royal from pre-K to the 8th grade. And my mom's Section 8 voucher changed from us being able to live in an apartment to us being able to move into a house, right? So my mom got the Section 8 so we could move into a house. And I remember my mom coming to us and explaining to us, describing to us where we were moving to. And you got to stay with me here, and you got to get the visual that I got when I was 13 years old, about to move. Like, we lived in apartments in Reservoir Hill and Bolton Hill all of my life. We had never lived in a house. Section 8 told my mom that she could move into a 3-bedroom house. And we were told that we were moving into a townhouse that was up on a hill. And down in the valley, the trains ran. And we would have our own room. And it was me and my 2 brothers. And we were moving to a townhouse up on a hill. We're down in the valley. The train ran. And if you followed me, you probably had the same picture I had as a little girl. I pictured a townhouse. I don't know what a townhouse is. So in my head, this was this big, beautiful home. And it sat on a hill. And I saw a rolling green hill. And down in the valley ran a train. So I saw a choo-choo train running through the valley. And we lived in this big, beautiful house on the hill. My mom was a creative. So if you're wondering where I got it from my mama, right? We moved to 1138 North Monroe Street, the second house from the bridge where the cargo train runs and shakes the house, shakes the windows. There was no grass. The stone mill is still there. There was concrete. That hill was broken glass, bottles, trash. That's where I moved to. And that's where life for me changed. And I'm not going to go back into childhood, but what I will tell you is that on sometime in May, I decided that I wanted out of drug addiction. I got tired of telling my kids I'd be right back and never coming back. I got tired of taking money and putting some money in my back pocket, some money in my sock, because I'm going to use the money in my back pocket to go take my kids out and buy them a toy, just to get to the end of the night using drugs and having my pockets empty, my sock empty, and me never making it back to buy my kids anything. I remember just walking the streets of Baltimore and knowing and understanding at some point, like, something was going to get better for me, and it never did. Sitting on concrete steps of abandoned houses, hoping, wishing, and praying that my life would change, and it never changed. So in May of 1996, I swallowed 5,600 milligram Motrin and dialed 911. I didn't want to die, but no one had ever come back and told me that I could stop using drugs. No one had ever told me anything about recovery. No, I lived in this 2-block radius from Reisterstown and Fulton to Pennsylvania and Clifton, and sometimes I ventured down to Pennsylvania, North Avenue and Gold Street. No one in that world was showing me a better way. So when we talk about changing our pain to power and helping someone else, when you've gone through a thing, when you've had some experience in an area, especially in an area where you thought you would die, many of us have been in experiences, in spaces and places where we thought, if one more thing happens, I'm going to lose it all. We've lost jobs. We've been divorced. We've lost children. We've lost family members. Like, one of the underlying common denominators for the women that I shared with on last night, and how did you get here? So many were experiencing loss and grief after multiple deaths of loved ones and family members, the loss of their parents, their grandparents, the loss of a child. Any dark place that they could define as how they got here, it was a series of dark places. So understand that climbing out is not about getting out one time. Climbing out is about getting out, helping someone else get out of what you've gone through, and having the ability to recognize that you're in that place again, a different place for a different reason. But we sometimes keep falling down. Sometimes we keep experiencing hardships. But it's about holding on and understanding that A bad day does not determine a bad life. A bad situation does not mean everything is going to be horrible. The ability to be able to hold on, hope, wish, pray, and do something. Because you can't be hungry and sit in the garage and wait for a hamburger to fall through the ceiling. You can't sit in a parking spot and wish to be a car. Like, if you need something to happen in your life, it takes intention. Like, we can pray all day and leave it to God, or leave it to a higher being, or leave it to the universe. But if you don't do something, there's no way you'll ever turn your pain into power. And the biggest something is being able to tell the truth. Like, if we continue to live a life with filters on and showing all the good things that happen in our life in social media, being fake and phony to our friends, telling them all of the highlights of our relationships, none of the bad stuff. One of our challenges was that we needed to tell someone something about something, because we sometimes leave out the minor details. And what we pretend are minor details are those big things that cause us to sometimes stay in bad situations. Turning your pain to power is having the ability to understand and recognize that you're in a bad place in relationships. We talked about the ability to be able to measure when a relationship is imbalanced, understanding that healthy relationships are mutually beneficial. If you continue to find yourself giving more than you receive, showing up as making people priorities in your life while they make you options, making decisions and doing things for other people that don't sit well in your spirit, that stop you from sleeping good at night. When we continue to make decisions that minimize us and maximize other people, that's painful. And we can go through life pretending that it's not affecting us, but it is. And what we experienced over our 28-day challenges, most of us were laying on the sofa. During the pandemic, we were stuck in a place. The pandemic allowed us to get dressed from the waist up and be on a Zoom. I've got on pants tonight. And not be able to recognize until it's at the bitter end that this is too much and I need to get out of here. So a bunch of us joined forces, and we linked up together, and we shared our common goal to get out of a dark place. So I'm homeless, I'm hopeless, I'm broken. I have a suicide attempt, and and climbing out is about how we share our experiences to turn our suicidal situations to success. Gone are the days I'm not the person that I used to be. So in point number one, when we talk about telling our own story and the ability to own our stuff, I'm doing really good with these curse words. The ability to own our stuff and take care of us and stop minimizing who we are to make other insecure people feel good about themselves. And then at the end of the day, we're dragging, right? So we're owning our stuff. We're telling our story. We're going through it, not over it. We are healing from our pain because we've recognized how we got here. My challenge each week is for any new person to journal and record the instances and the experiences and the situations, the obstacles and the challenges that allowed you to get to a place that you need to climb out of. And again, I can't say it enough that climbing out does not mean that you were suicidal on the brink of death. Climbing out means that you keep accepting less than you deserve. Climbing out means that you say that you're enough and you say that you're valuable, but you keep showing up tiny. Climbing out means that gone are the days that you dim your light for other people to shine. Turning our pain to power means that we own our experiences. We've gone through some stuff that we thought that we would die from. Everyone's had a breakup and said, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through this? And we look up and we're through. But if you don't take the opportunity to recognize when a friend or a younger person is going through a similar situation, and you don't have the courage or bravery enough to go to that person and say, you know what? I was in an abusive relationship and I'm not anymore because I did this, and this to get out. and I'm here to help you do this, and this to get out. It is not about, we're never in competition with each other. You will never have power believing that you're better than anyone. You will never have power believing that you're superior over people that are going through the same things that you've gone through, but you're too fake and phony enough. You're so fake and so phony that you don't have enough to admit that you've been through these situations. We already know, like real recognized real. Like we already know when you've got stuff going on, because everyone has stuff going on. It is about how we show up when stuff is going on. The only way, the first step to turning your pain into power is being able to tell the truth. And you ain't have to tell the truth to everybody. Social media doesn't have to be a platform where you tell all your business. You just got to have somebody in your life that you trust enough to share your truth with. And as you begin to share your truth with yourself first, and then have the ability to share your truth with other people, the power of being freed from the secret, the power of being freed from your secrets is probably the most powerful experience you'll ever have. Like, gone are the days of you pretending that everything's okay. It's okay to not be okay, because everybody's going through something. Like, someone could be great at their job and horrible in relationships. Someone could show up every day, face beat, hair done, dressed to the nines, going home to an abusive relationship. Someone is caring for their parent who is dying. Like, we're all going through something. Like, someone is showing up every day at a job that doesn't celebrate their skills and their talents, and or doesn't compensate them accordingly, because they have yet to recognize that valuable, worthy, and enough are action words. When I say that I am valuable, when I say that I am worthy, when I say that I am enough, I show up that way. Those aren't just words to be saying. Valuable, worthy, and enough are action words. You turn your pain to power when you show up worthy, when you show up valuable, when you show up enough, and you stop getting into situations, relationships, jobs, careers, any space or place that demands that you minimize who you are, who your authentic, real self is. Any space or place that minimizes who you really are is not a space or place that you need to sit in. Those are the spaces that we need to climb out of. And the only way to get power out of these things is to own it. We can stay with people for a myriad of reasons. They buy us stuff. Oh, he pays the bills. Oh, she got a cute face and a tiny waist, right? Like, what, he does this and she does that, and all these superficial material reasons that we stay in places. When we love hard, when we love from a real place, and we know in our gut that we're not getting it back, why are we still there? That pain will never be powerful until we get up enough wherewithal. We get up enough esteem. We get up enough self-worth, enough self-value to begin making decisions that speak to the power inside ourselves. So it's not a sprint. Turning your pain to power is a marathon, because it's painful to tell our truth. And when it's abuse, and when it is opportunities that we've had to be mistreated mentally, physically, mentally, because you know how that person speaks to you. Those are the minor details that we leave out. You know how that person never shows up for you. You know how you keep giving. You know how little you're receiving in return. Those are the things that you're climbing out from. Those are the things that you can climb out from. So I hope that you plan to join me each and every Sunday, because I have a guest. I have a guest that will give us insight, motivation, encouragement, and more power to climb out of our spaces. I needed to be with you tonight just so you could meet me, your host, and understand that I've gone through some things. And as a direct result, I don't wake up. The people that look at my social media or look at things and look at superficial stuff and can't see my inside, don't understand that I still turn the key in the door to this home that I live in and say, wow. I still exit my bedroom and walk out into my kitchen and say, thank you, God, as I look around and continue disbelief. I do not take for granted any blessing that I've been given, any success that I've had after suicide, any power that I've gained after my pain. What I do understand is that to keep it, I've got to give it away. So I'll be here each and every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. And I hope that you join me. I also need you to follow me on my YouTube channel. So subscribe to Ericka Alston Buck on YouTube. Make certain that you are logged in each and every Sunday at 8:30 here at blackus.news. I thank you for the platform, blackusa.news, for me to have an opportunity to climb out and invite some others to climb out with me. I also want to thank my producer today, of all days. I got up at 5 a.m. I worked all day. I jumped on 95 to get home, racing to make it to my class at 6 p.m. tonight. My class is from 6 p.m. to 8:30 on Tuesday nights. And to my surprise, I logged on to my 6:30 class with it already in session because my 6:30 class started at 6 o'clock. I need to climb out of some time management. So then I had to jump on and be ready to do this show with you tonight because I'm super excited to be here. But I couldn't have done that without the producer, Andrea Harrison. One of our challenges during the 28-day self-care challenge was to check on your strong friend. You are your strong friend. And when you check on your strong friend, find out what she needs help with. Ask yourself where you need support. And I needed support in all these things that I was doing. And Andrea's offering to me was to produce the show. So I am forever grateful to every opportunity that I have to share my experiences, to share my successes, and to share how I turn my pain into power. I'll see you next Sunday because you'll be tuned in right here each and every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. for Climbing Out the Self-Care Challenge.